Everyone, welcome back. So you missed this Gargoyles Easter egg in Mike and Nick and Alice. Already, here's a really cool detail you probably missed in Mike and Nick and Alice, and it connects to one of the most underrated animated series of the 90s, Gargoyles. Yeah, seriously. So this new science fiction action comedy starring Vince Vaughn, James Marsden, and Eliza Gonzalez is already a wild ride. You have got a gangsters, time travel, romance, and even a future version of one of the characters trying to prevent a disaster. It's chaotic in a good way, but hidden inside all of that is a super subtle Easter egg that actually kind of wholesome. And it revolves around Keith David. Now, if you don't know, Keith David plays the mob boss Sosa in the film, but long before that, he was the voice of Goliath in Gargoyles, the iconic leader of the Manhattan Clan, and that's where things get interesting. During filming, director Ben David and Keith David were just casually talking on set about Gargoyles, like fans do. And Keith David mentions one of his favorite lines from the show, street pizza. Now, if you have never watched Gargoyles, that line comes from the very first episode. A police officer is warning people about falling debris, and instead of saying something like, "You will get crushed," she says, "You will end up as street pizza." It's funny, it's weird, and it's very New York, but it also had a purpose. Back then, animated shows had to get creative to avoid saying anything too graphic, so instead of directly referencing death or injury, they used phrases like that. And somehow it stuck. So back on the Nick and Alice set, Grabansky decides to sneak that reference into the movie. He actually rewrites a line for Keith David's character so he can say something along the line of, "You're gonna be street pizza by morning." And when Keith David sees it, he lights up. Apparently, he was genuinely excited because it was such a deep cut reference to something he loved being part of. And that's what makes this Easter egg so great. It's not just for the audience, it's for the actors. It's small, almost invisible moment, but it adds this extra layer of personality and history to the film. And honestly, it also reminds you just how influential Gargoyles was. That show wasn't just another cartoon, it had deep lore, complex characters, and surprisingly mature themes. It blended mythology, Shakespearean drama, and modern storytelling in a way that was way ahead of its time. And yet, it could still throw in a goofy line like street pizza and make it memorable. So seeing that phrase show up decades later in a completely different movie, that's kind of amazing. It's like a tiny bridge between generations of storytelling. And it shows how much creators today are inspired by things they grew up with. So next time you watch Nick and Alice, listen closely because that one line, it's not random, it's a tribute. Thank you for watching. Bye.